So a quick way to integrate technology into your classroom is using a service called Socrative to take quick quizzes and different types of formative assessments with your students. So what you'll do is you'll go to socrative.com and you can create an account. And what will happen when you create your account is you'll see the screen that I have here. And at the top of your screen, you're going to see a special code. This code is assigned specifically to your classroom. Once you've signed up for an account, you'll want to have your students sign up for an account as well. Both the accounts for you and for your students are free. So one thing that's neat about Socrative is that you can log in any room with your account, and then that room will project a signal to your students. So what I'd like to show you today is how to create a quiz for your students. Now this doesn't necessarily have to be a quiz that you put into your gradebook, but you can use it as a form of a formative assessment. So you can have it as an exit ticket or a way to do a warm-up with your students in the morning, and it's really quick, really easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to click over here where it reads quizzes. When you do that, you can see that there's been a quiz that was already made, but you also have the option to add your own quiz. So we're going to just do a really short quiz for this session, and so you can practice in your own classroom with your own curriculum. So let's click Add Quiz. I'm going to create a new quiz. So what we'll do is we'll title this quiz Technology Integration. Okay, if you notice, it also gives you the option to align it to certain standards. Typically these will be Common Core standards, but you can also type in your own standards. So what I want to know today is how often have you used a tool like Socrative in your classroom? So what I'm going to do is let's do a multiple choice question. And I'm going to type. So my question is going to be, how often do you use applications like Socrative in your classroom? I know many of you have used things like Today's Meet, or you have used some of our different polling services within It's Learning, but this is another tool that you can use easily and quickly in your classroom. You have also the opportunity to add an image. So for social studies teachers, if you would like to incorporate a DBQ type item, math teachers, you can incorporate a problem, say from a release STAR exam. This can be used with any discipline. And then I'll provide my answer choices. It defaults to giving you 5 answer choices. For this one, I'm just going to use 4. You also have the opportunity to add an additional answer. What you can do for your students, if you want to provide immediate feedback, which is something that we all try to incorporate in our classroom, you can provide an explanation for the question and the answer at the bottom. If this was the type of question that had only one correct answer, what you would do is click the box on the side to indicate which answer is correct. So for my explanation, I'm just going to thank participants like you for taking this poll. When you're done, you'll click the Save icon at the top right-hand corner of your screen. And this gives you an example of what your question will look like. You have options to put your questions in different orders. You also have the option here, which is to duplicate or copy your question from above. So if you have a formatted quiz. I want to delete that question for this sake. Okay. Once my quiz is finished, I will click Save and Exit. Now if you notice in my quizzes files, I have the technology integration here. I can copy this quiz if, say, I want to do a formulaic type quiz every Monday, every Tuesday. If you quiz vocabulary or math questions or lab safety rules, you can copy that same quiz and initiate it again. You can download the quiz. You can also share it with your team or with your department. Now that I have this quiz, I'm going to click where it reads Launch. And launch means I want to release this quiz to be able to be taken by my students. So I will click Quiz. And you can see here I can search by the title of the name of that quiz, or I can just click from my selections. I'll click Next. And then I have the option for how I want to deliver this quiz. So I can provide my students instant feedback. I can leave it open where the students can go in any order that they would like to. Or if I want to be in control of how the students take the quiz, then I can do a teacher-paced quiz. But for our sake, I'm going to do an instant feedback. And with that, I have the options here of how I would like that quiz delivered to me. So I can require the students' names. If I want to provide different formats, say, of the quiz, I can have it shuffle questions. I can also have it shuffle the answers if I want to try and prevent cheating. I can show quiz feedback, and then I can show their final score. You can also limit if they have one or several attempts to take this quiz. So let's click Start. So what I would see here is once my students have all logged in, I would see all of their names, and then I would see their answer choices. For this sake, I don't have classes loaded in here, but you would see under your class your students' names and their answer choice. When the quiz is finished, meaning I do not want my students to have access to it anymore that period, I would click Finish. Socrative gives me the opportunity for reports, so I can see if this quiz had several questions, I could see if there was a particular question that most of my students missed, and that would help guide my instruction the next day on topics or skills that I would need to cover again. You can view it in a chart, so if you would like it to analyze data that you could take to, say, a department or a course level meeting, you can do that as well. So for our training today, I'm just going to click on Get Reports. And then I have the option if I want to look at it through individual students, by individual questions, or if I just want to see my entire class as an Excel document. I have the option to email it to myself as well as my team members. So if we wanted to compare our data via email against each other to see how we performed in different areas, we could do that. Or you can download the document to your computer. So I'll click Download. And then if you'll see down here in the bottom, it provides me that report in an Excel document, which then I could take and manipulate the data however I would like to. This is very helpful when you are doing individual conferencing with students. This is helpful if you are using this as a formative assessment tool, as I suggested, to see exactly where your students are in their learning process. So once again, this is a tool called Socrative that you can use in your classroom for different types of assessment. I suggest as you're getting started, use it as a quick formative assessment. You have different types of quizzes, different types of questions. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to come see me in the library and I'll be happy to walk you through it. Or we can plan something together collaboratively and I can come to your classroom and I can help you use this tool with your students. Thank you so much.